Hey Enlightenment Garden. It is early April and I want to do an update on Plumeria. So we had a very severe winter this year in the Phoenix, Arizona area. We saw mid to upper 20s for a week straight. Not just an hour, but hours each night. And no real break for the plants. My hardest hit plants were the Plumeria. So I want to talk about some of the things I did and which ones survived. So in front here is a Inca Gold that was planted in 2016. You can see it's quite large. It's just coming out with its tips, and you can see that it has inflows pretty much on each branch. So what I did different for this one is I actually built an enclosure out of PVC, wrapped plastic around it, and put in a 1000 watt work light. And I would turn that on during the nights when I knew we would be dipping below freezing. And that's what kept this Plumeria safe. The plastic also kept the rain off the Plumeria, so it didn't have any rot issues. And then during the day, I was able to take the top off for ventilation. So that is one sound way to protect your Plumeria in a frost situation. This is the northwest corner of my yard, and these Plumeria all were uncovered and thrived despite 20s. There's bamboo next to it, but really it's the fact that there's rocks all around here and wall protecting them that I think made a difference here. So the varieties that I've got here are Valentine, Samchininga, Lemon Ice, Jubilee, and Enchanted. Now I did have a fairly mature Desert Sunrise here, and that one died all the way to the roots. Despite that it was right nearby, it's possible that it just is a more sensitive variety, can't tolerate the 20s. Desert Sunrise is known to be a Plumeria that really thrives in our desert heat, so it's also possible that despite it being able to adapt to high temperatures, it doesn't do so well with low temperatures. I decided to replace it with an Inca Gold. Inca Gold, just like other yellow and white type Plumerias, tend to be a little bit more cold hardy. So I'm hoping that this one too will thrive if we ever get that into that situation again with 20s. I had quite a few Plumeria growing in the food forest area under deep mulch. Some were protected under a canopy. They all rotted and died, unfortunately. So, variety of different microclimates. Really the only ones that thrived were the ones in that hot location on the corner wall, uncovered. My largest amount of Plumeria were installed behind my pool wall up on this slope. I built this carport structure in the wintertime for the main objective of covering it in plastic so that I could frost protect these plants. What I didn't count on was how low we got, 20s. I didn't have adequate heat, and in the end, nearly every single one of the Plumeria rotted out, died. So I lost even the large Saint Germain that I had growing here. That's supposed to be a more hardy variety. I've since planted it out with new Plumerias. These are all from Jungle Jacks this year, planted in spring. We've got Sahara. These are just coming out of dormancy, so there's not a whole lot going on right now. This is Queen Amber. This is Exquisite. Again, we can see leaves are just starting to push on this. This is a Gemini. This California sunset I actually had in the ground for the past 2 years. So this one was one of the few that survived the 20s. So this proves to be a more hardy variety of Plumeria. This is Divine. Here we've got Dragon Tears. So you can see I've gone back to some of the varieties I was growing, and I've also added some new ones. This one here is Tangerine Dream, another one that I lost. Firestorm was another one that I lost. Not actually in the cold. I lost it during the monsoons. Wind came through and pulled the stake out and basically decapitated the plant. So Firestorm's one of my favorites, so I wanted to grow that again. Here we have an El Corazon. That's a new one for me. Veracruz is also a new one. Wildfire is actually one that survived. It's been in the ground for 2 years. Planted in 2017. So this is a fairly hardy variety as well. Trying 4222 yet again. Fet Pachara. This one was kind of mind-blowing for me. So this too is one that survived the frost. Planted in 2017. It's a Thai variety. And apparently extremely hardy. This one's a new one, Ken's White. And then Incognito is another new one I'm trying out this year. So you might be asking, why am I planting them in the ground again? Why not grow them in containers? You can container grow Plumeria, but you're going to have to keep them in shade because containers can get, you know, up to 150, 160 degrees in full sun in the summer. So they really take more of a watchful eye, and they're not going to grow as large. In the ground, Plumeria really take off here. They can put on a tremendous amount of growth. So in summer, I will be shading them. There are some varieties that can take full sun, others really can't. They do need some filtered light. We'll see how these do in this new environment with the shade structure up. I'll do updates as these grow and bloom out this year. And then come winter, if we're in for another cold one, I'll show you what I'll be doing this year that's different. Mainly, it's going to be using pipe insulation and frost cloth rather than plastic. Thanks for watching, and happy gardening.